boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. I swear the Hollywood culture must be one of the most toxic positivity places on the planet, because these people seem to be absolutely incapable of taking responsibility for their own actions and not trying to blame the fans for absolutely everything, and color us shocked, boys and girls, after the hundreds of millions of dollars that Disney Lucasfilm lost on their Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dysentery series out there now, after over almost a year and a half later, after that movie cost them hundreds of millions of dollars and turned into an absolute disaster, it's dumpster fire that the fans could not stand in any way, shape, or form. Well, guess what? Color us shocked there. The director is now blaming the fans. Yes, boys and girls, it's not like he wrote something bad that a lot of people, that the fans and the general audience out there did not relate to in any way, shape, or form. And no, boys and girls, you just couldn't accept and understand the beautiful artwork that he put out there. So color us shocked there. It's another Hollywood elitist out there blaming the audience, the paying customer, for not liking their hot pile of steaming garbage. And that's exactly what we've got right over here, boys and girls, from our dear sweet friends over at cosmicbook.news. Indiana Jones director blames fans for failure. Oh, color us shocked there. It's literally the classic Skinner meme of, am I wrong? No, they're all wrong. It's the audience's fault. It's the paying customer. They didn't like my pile of garbage that I gave them, and it's their fault because it's a beautiful pile of garbage. It's the best pile of garbage ever. It's the shiniest turd you've ever seen. Well, guess what? It's a turd, and as usual, the audience is smarter than you are, Mangold. And wow, now it's another day in NY where another Hollywood elitist blames the fans and not himself for giving us a hot pile of steaming garbage. So we're checking out this article from cosmicbook.news, getting all the juicy details of exactly what he said. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. Are you surprised at all by this, that James Mangold, of all people out there, is blaming the fans for how bad the movie did? You want to go out there and go, ha, 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 guess what, loser, you still lost a bunch of money. But unfortunately, the way Hollywood works, he's going to fail up, because I hear there's rumors out there that he's next up for a Star Wars movie that'll probably never actually happen. Let us know what you think about that in the comments section down below. And if you'd like to support the channel, please check out the links in the description as well. So from our dear sweet friends over at cosmicbook.news and our friend Matt McGloin, Disney's Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dysentery, director James Mangold blames fans for the movie's massive failure. The flick is reported to have lost Disney at least $143 million and made Hollywood's annual bombs list in 2023. Yeah, because the reported budget for this thing was like $500 million for all of the kind of like crazy reshoots and everything else they did back. Yeah, there was no way this movie was ever going to make money. So now, a year and a half after the film's release, James Mangold offers its fans who are to blame, as Mangold feels no matter what they would have done, it wouldn't have made the fans happy. Yeah, God forbid, give us like a classic Indiana Jones where you got to pull him out of retirement because, hey, guess what? Some kind of crazy artifact has to be saved from a bunch of evil bad guys out there. No. You couldn't have just done that. No. You had to make sure that throughout the entire movie, he was talked down to and made to look like a fool, whereas Phoebe Waller-Bridge, this horse-faced, unlikable actress out there, is literally praised as being the bestest, smartest things in sliced bread. And of course, she's so gorgeous and everybody loves her and just fans over this absolutely wonderful, stunning, and brave woman out there that you should all worship, which is literally nothing more than another Kathleen Kennedy insert. Boy, yeah, I wonder why the fans didn't like it. But of course, it's not his fault for doing this. It's not Kathleen Kennedy's fault. No. It's your fault. You're the dummies. You're not as smart and as elevated and elite as he is. So James says via Deadline, you have a wonderful, brilliant actor who's in his 80s. So I'm making a movie about this guy in his 80s, but his audience on one level doesn't want to confront their hero at that age. And I'm like, I'm good with it. We made the movie, but the question is, how would anything have made the audience happy with that? Well, I mean, we obviously just gave you an example of that, but of course, that doesn't actually matter. Other than having to start over again with a new guy. And when here comes the lifelong heroes from my childhood into my life going, we have something for you to work on. It was a joyous experience, but it hurt in the sense that I really love Harrison, and I wanted audiences to love him as he was and to accept that that's part of what the movie has to say, that things come to an end and that's part of life. And God forbid, I don't know, here's a strange concept. You could have actually had him be in like a happy relationship with kids and like retired and want to be away from all this kind of stuff and happily married to what's her face, and instead just use her as a bring-in punch gag at the very end instead of starting it out that way. No, instead we find Indiana Jones as a broken down drunk of a man living in a small apartment that gets yelled at by kids from outside his room. Yeah, and then all of a sudden a woman has to come in and revitalize him and bring him back to what it was. Boy, I wonder why the audience didn't like this movie and it flopped at the box office and cost you hundreds of millions of dollars, Disney. I don't know. Color me shocked there. The audience doesn't actually want that. Why aren't the fans happy? Regarding not making the fans happy, it's probably not because Indiana Jones is old or that the fans are old. It probably has to do with the fact that they were going to replace Indiana Jones with Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character, Helena. However, Mangold confirmed he changed things. Yes, because we heard those leaks, we heard all those rumors, and the fan backlash was outrageous and over the top because guess what? Nobody wants Horseface as the new Indy. Color us shocked there. It also probably didn't help the film underwent massive reshoots, and when Disney debuted Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dysentery at the Cannes Film Festival, the film was received with a lukewarm reception from critics and those in the audience. That's a very nice way of saying that. No, they hated that movie. It was an abysmal score. It was so funny. Lucasfilm under Kathleen Kennedy already ruined Star Wars and Willow. Now it's Kennedy's turn to ruin Indiana Jones. Reports offered a planned ending that took place in the 1930s, featured a young Indiana Jones sacrificing himself to save Helena, causing the old Indy to fade away. Helena then picks up the whip, dons the fedora, and becomes the new Indiana Jones. The classic John Williams music score hits. Yes, boys and girls, that's exactly what we heard. And then, of course, Mangold confirmed he changed the ending. When I came on the movie, they had been playing with a bunch of different things that were basically just reduxes of what had happened in the first movie. Just more apparitions and ghosts. I felt like I was just watching the first movie over again. I know. Oh, what a tragedy. I mean, I'm sure that probably would have actually gone over well with the fans. And again, an envision that was existing in place. And I felt like that Steven Spielberg and George Lucas and Larry Keston and David Kapp had also done successfully in other films, was to keep in mind pulling up a rock on a different aspect of history and metaphysics and not going to the same thing. Yeah, they literally use time travel in the movie. If you hadn't seen it, like the majority of the audience out there, they literally use time travel. In a way, I didn't want to do that kind of, is it the Death Star thing again? Well, what you did certainly didn't work out because as Matt points out, Disney's Indiana Jones and Dial of Dysentery brought in $383.9 million worldwide and starred Harrison Ford. The Rotten Tomatoes score from the critics is a 70%, and from the fans, it's an 87%. The cinema score is a B+. Needless to say, not exactly how you want a movie that you reportedly spent over $500 million on going at the box office. Needless to say, the fans hated it, and James Mangold just wants to blame us on all of us out there. Yes, it's the audience fault for not being smart enough to understand his vision. So color us shocked there. It's just another day ending in Y and another Hollywood elitist out there blaming the fans. Boys and girls, we have seen this strategy played out over and over and over again. And it just turns into another disastrous dumpster fire after another disastrous dumpster fire. James Mangold, you might have done some good stuff in the past, but your attitude, your elitist attitude, all of the fans and the audiences out there is exactly why you will continue to fail. And as we know how things work out in Hollywood, you'll probably fail up and bring us even more disastrous dumpster fires in the future that we get to report on, roast you, laugh at you, and ridicule you for, because I don't know how many times we have to teach you this lesson, old man. You make the fans happy and we'll make you rich. You decide to piss us off and completely and totally go against everything we want. Well, you get Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dysentery, and it's hundreds of millions of dollars that it lost at the box office, further putting Disney into even more debt. And guess what? It couldn't happen to a nicer group of assholes. After all, you did it to yourself, and you get exactly what you deserve, James. By all means, cope more.